Hi, Leather Rock here. That's Tabby Boy, and today I'm going to show you a khaki crease eyeshadow look using all one palette. This is the Nude Rose NightFall palette from B&H Cosmetics, and I'm giving you a close-up look, and I think this is really easy. You don't need to do a cut crease or anything fancy, and let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie my hair back, and boy, it's melting in here. If you can't tell, maybe I don't need to tell you this, but the less clothes I'm wearing, the hotter it is. So, alright, and you know what, I always forget a hair tie because I actually had my hair up until about 5 minutes ago, and I could not get my cat to cooperate. And yeah, and as soon as I get something to tie, aha, okay. It seems like every time I tie my hair up, I use something new. And I still have one fan running because I'm really hoping not to get any gang interruptions or anything. We've been having so many problems with noise, and I don't dare call the cops because then they will call here and they will wake people up, and we can't have that. Okay, I have my trusty coconut oil here, and I have plenty of tissues, and I also have makeup wipes and everything. So, and this time I'm going to try and only get the coconut oil on my eyelid, because sometimes I ended up, in some of my other makeup videos, I ended up taking off some of the foundation, and I really don't want to do that, because then if I don't get both sides matching, then it bothers me. It probably bothers me more than it bothers you. Okay, I love how coconut oil feels. You know, another reason why I haven't been doing a whole lot of makeup tutorials, besides the fact that probably half of my audience doesn't even wear makeup, and I want to make something for everybody, but my eyelids are still suddenly so dry. And I mean, I do not have dry skin, okay? I still have greasy teenage skin. It's maybe a little less greasy, but it's still, I have oily skin, which is probably the best kind of skin to have, because supposedly the longer it stays oily, the less likely it's supposed to wrinkle up. I don't know. You can have wrinkles and acne at the same time. You really can. And how old you are has nothing to do with how dry or oily your skin is. I mean, people's skin do tend to dry when they get older, but not necessarily. That's why it's important to treat your skin as it is and not for how old you are. Because there's really, I mean, there are young people in your early 20s who have dry skin. That amazed me when I met them, because I would automatically assume that young people would have greasy skin, might still have teenage acne and stuff, but no matter how old you are, you can have oily skin. No matter how young you are, you can have dry skin. And sometimes their skin can dry out because of chemical exposure. Maybe they're washing with harsh detergents. Maybe even being out in the sun can dry you out. And of course, I avoid the sun. I totally do everything I can to avoid the sun. Now, I like to experiment with different things to use on my eyelid as a first coat. Now, this time I'm using the E.L.F Complete Coverage Concealer, and normally I use pretty much the lightest color, but since I'm covering almost all this up, I'm going ahead and I'm using the color on the far right. And I'm going to use this as my mirror. One thing I gotta say about the cover of the Nude Rose Nightfall thing, it's all made of metal and everything. The whole palette's made of metal, but there's a rod and a pin and a hinge that keeps this all attached, and somehow, I guess maybe because I dropped it one too many times, the rod and the pin fell out. So now I have to hold them together. The lid does not stay on it. Now you would think that because it's made of metal it would have been sturdier, but it just goes to show you can't tell automatically based on what something's made of. Okay, that feels like it's kind of darker. Okay, I know why this side looks darker than here, because I made sure to put extra foundation underneath. So I better get that out. Now I have this already set aside, and this is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless Fit Me, but actually the foundation that I'm wearing is the True Match, L'Oreal True Match, and I use the lightest shade, which is W1 Porcelain, or W1 Porcelain. Okay, some people like to use an all-over color. I'm not going to do that. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, there is a light gold and a darker gold, a light khaki, a dark khaki, and two shades of brown, bronze colors, a white, a light gray, frost, a matte gray, a really dark gray. It looks black, but it's really not, and it's kind of frosty. A purple, and a blue that's sort of kind of purple. It's probably more blue than purple. Now, I'm going to use the quote-unquote dark gold, and I'm going to get it pretty good on the brush. And then I'm going to look in the mirror to do this, and I'm going to pretty much basically get it all over the lid. And you know what? If I don't feel that I have enough of a color impact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back into that color. Now usually I tend to I don't scrub with my palettes, partly because of the fallout and partly because you're going to use up your colors faster. And if the pans are kind of small, you probably don't want to use them up. But I really want to get good coverage on this brush, so I'm going back and forth on it. Now again, because these all have magnets in them, you never want to set them on top of your laptop computers, because magnets will erase your hard drives. So I'm going again over, and I'm including the corner of the eye. I'm getting on that really good. Okay, now, and I stop at the edge here. They say you shouldn't go beyond your eyebrow anyway. So okay, I've covered that really good up to about the crease. Now, putting that back, now I'm using this brush, and I'm going to go into the lighter khaki, which is this color right here. And I'm not getting as much coverage on this brush as I got on the gold. I'm just tapping it on either side, and I'm tapping the excess because I don't want to get a whole bunch of fallout underneath here. I'm going to get this mirror again. Now I'm going to lightly sweep in the crease. If you have a hooded eye, you want to make sure that you keep your eye open for this. Otherwise, it will accentuate the hood instead of covering it up. Now this is going lightly at first because you don't want it too heavy, and I want to try to make sure that I have sides matching. That's the only problem I could see with doing this particular method, is that depending on how long the other eyeshadow side was on, it's a little bit harder to get both sides to match. Now if you're doing this makeup at home and you're doing both sides at the same time, you're not going to have this problem. Now if I don't think I got enough color payoff, I'm going to touch this to it a little bit more. I'm just tapping it, I'm just touching it. Now you don't want to go all the way into the crease, and you don't want to go all the way to the edge. You just want to sweep. Now when you think you got it about right, here's the next step. Now I should have used a few more brushes, but I'm going to go back into the brush that I used, did the eyelid here. And I'm going to take that same color, that dark gold, going to get a pretty good coverage on the brush, not too much. I'm going to go at the brow bone. Now, you could probably say, wait a minute, this color is too dark for my skin color. And it is, but there's more to it than this. Okay, I'm going to hit the brow bone with this, and I'm going to sweep almost to the where the eyebrow starts. And now I'm going to be careful, of course, not to smudge the eyebrow color. That's never good. Some people actually don't do their eyebrows until after they do their eyeshadow, but I like to do the eyebrows first because that way it gives the eyeshadow a frame. Okay, now I got that. Now you can see obviously both sides don't match, and I'll tell you why. Now you take the wrist of your hand. I don't want to use the back of my hand because it's covered with coconut oil, and wipe off the excess. Now I always use a different brush for every color, but this is one of few times when I make an exception. I'm going to go back into my palette. I'm going to touch both the lightest gold shade on both sides, and I'm going to touch the matte white. And this is a nice opaque white. I really like it. I can't say how useful having a white and a light gold is, because even though the lightest gold is not light enough for some skin tones, if you mix the two together, you'll get a color that'll work. And I'm going to just go back over where I put the gold, but you don't want to go too close to the crease. And now this looks like I touched it with a little bit too much white. If that happens, just go back into the light gold, both sides of the brush, and I'm going to go back. Now, if you ever think that you're actually covering the crease too much and you are muting out what we just did, all you have to do is go back with that brush that you applied the crease color in. Now, do not apply more color. All you have to do is, if you say you whited out the crease, there's already color on this brush. Just sweep over. So you see, you get to actually get away with only using 2 eyeshadow brushes, even though you're using 4 eyeshadows. So this would actually come in handy if you don't have a whole lot of eyeshadow brushes. I do, and I wash them all the time. But when I was doing this, I guess I was lazy. Now, I hope these are symmetrical. Of course, I do have eyeliner on. Okay, I'm going to step into this light and see how. You know what? I think I needed to add a little bit more eyeshadow in the crease. Okay, go back to the khaki, the lighter shade of khaki here. Tap off the excess. Back into the crease. See, I was smart. I took the thumbnail pictures ahead of time instead of at the end of the shoot to make sure that everything matched. Alright, time for the eyeliner. Oh, don't tell me I don't have that set aside. And I have, this is the mascara that I'm using. This is the only waterproof I have right now open. This is a Wet n Wild Max Volume. And look at the one with, and I'm very happy with this. It has not run on me. It's so nice to have color that does not run. Okay, now I'm getting black eye pencil. You can use any black pencil, really. You know what? Now, this is where I'm doing something a little different than what I used. I actually used a Wet n Wild a Kohl Icon, and the black they call Baby Got Black. But since I actually misplaced that pencil, I'm using an AVON black eyeliner pencil. Same difference, really. I mean, it feels the same. There's no tugging. Now this is going to be interesting. My doing this, and I hope I can stay in the frame. Now sometimes I will tape a mirror on my computer next to the webcam, but I haven't done that in a while. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Usually, see, I can't keep this up, and because this is a palette, I can't set it on the computer. But I am waterlining, because when you use an eyeliner with this particular look, you don't want to cover up too much of the lid with your eyeliner. It's not a thick line, and I didn't even wing it out this time. I don't want to call this a more subtle look, and actually it's quite dramatic for the kind of colors that I'm using. And waterline the lower lid also. And very lightly line the top lash line. I mean, you're doing the bottom lash line too, but it's a thinner line than I usually do. And it's really a good idea to sharpen every time when you do these. And I really like this sharpener because it holds all the shavings and it doesn't make a mess. Of course, occasionally it opens up in my makeup bag and I get the mess anyway, so. Okay. Now, if you get a little smudge with this, a really good trick is to go back with the light eyeshadow that you had covering it, and you see there's still some on the brush. Just tap it to where your pencil smudged too much, and that generally should fix it, because otherwise if you're going to go to do a Q-tip number, you're going to end up scrubbing off not only the eyeshadow but the base sticky color you had underneath, and it becomes real messy to try to fix. But you see, covering with the eyeshadow takes care of it, and they look pretty symmetrical to me. What do you think? But I still have to put the mascara on. And the only thing that I really can complain about so far with this mascara is because I have small hands, would like the handle to be a little bit skinnier. And that shouldn't impact how much product is in, because if they made it skinnier, all they would have to do is maybe make the container a little longer, and that would solve that problem. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of coats with this because I wanted to make sure that it didn't clump, but the kind of brush this has, it really doesn't clump on me, and you don't have to do a whole lot of coats. I mean, I put this on before going to water my garden today, and I didn't want to use a whole lot of coats of it because I didn't want it to smudge, because it's much hotter in the house than it was outside. And heck, I didn't even make it to the garden until the sun had already set, which meant that it was too dark for me to weed. It's good to wiggle mascara also. You want to start it at the base. A lot of times people don't touch their mascara to their lash till they're almost mid-length, and you really want to start at the base and wiggle. That will separate the lashes. It will coat them more evenly. It'll thicken them, or at least give the appearance of thickening. And it will also, if you happen to have fibers in your mascara, it'll give your fibers a little bit more texture to make your lashes look longer and thicker. Now, of course, if your lashes are as small as mine, probably nothing you can do will make that much of a difference, but you can at least try. Now, I do always, I almost forgot. I also, before I do the lower lashes, I want to do eyeliner on the lower lashes. And very carefully, because you don't want it to be too heavy. down, and I'm not winging it out like I usually do, because I really want the eyeshadow itself to be noticeable. And if there's too much thick eyeliner, it can actually keep you from seeing the subtleties of the gradations of the eyeshadow. What do you think? Alrighty. It is so hot in here. My cat's been laying on the bathroom floor. He looks so pitiful. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you my earrings. These are actually leopard print. And sometimes, just because the colors are similar, I will wear leopard with camouflage. And yeah, I see that this is a peace sign, and I'm not sure that now's the time for peace. When we have terrorism in the world, we need a strong military and we need a strong America. You know, I know this isn't a political video, but I gotta put my 2 cents in. So, what do you think? This is Khaki. This look is from the Nude Rose NightFall palette from B&H Cosmetics. And I got this palette, what, 6-7 months ago, but I'm really trying to shop my own closets now. I'm not about spending money that I don't have on things I already have plenty of. You like it? Okay. If you, before I go, I guess I have to show you the lipstick that I'm using. I really love this. This is my current favorite. This is also from B&H Cosmetics. It's the Creme Luxe lipstick, and I'm pretty sure the color is called Vixen. And it's a really perfect purple shade. I just can't get enough of it. And my on my eyebrows, what I've been using, it's from LA Colors. It's the Lip Duo, and the color is called Vibe, V-I-B-E. I just use a skinny applicator to get it on my eyebrows, and they really are shaped that way. Okay, if you like the video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like my content, feel free to subscribe, hit the bell. You'll know when I make my next upload. I would love to have you join my family. And till then, talk to you soon. Bye.